Learning how to use module is central part of Python. Any Python file ending with .py can be called as Python module. You will also sometimes find modules that are compiled with .pyc or .pyo file as well. In this example, as you can see in your screen, I have prepared a Python demo file that demonstrate multiple methods to import modules and their other data attributes and functions. The most basic form of import is to use import and module name. For example, here I have import math, and then you'll be able to use the data attributes of it. For example, here I am using data attribute as .py and function as .10. And in this example, you'll find dir. Dir is an inbuilt function which will print the list of the namespace you have. By default, if you don't specify the namespace, it will be creating underscore underscore main underscore underscore as your namespace. I'm going to run this module and see what's going to be my output. Let me adjust the screen a little bit just to show you the proper format and nice font size. So now you can see my output. It says the list of main namespace and it prints the object's names in the main namespace. You would notice that before importing math, it didn't have math as one of the object, but once I did import math, it became part of main namespace. Now after this, you can see I got my value of pi as the data attribute, and the function tangent 10 gave me an output of 1, 10 of 1. Let me go back to my code again. Now the math name is deleted here, and then the second part of my code starts. In this second example, the name of math is alias to fun. You can see here. So we will import the math module as fun, and we will look at the main namespace. It's going to have fun instead of math, and we will access attributes like fun.py, fun.tan, and you can see once I am done with this, I'm deleting the fun. So you can see the output of my second example. The list of the main namespace, by default it came back to the same thing because I deleted math. And now once I add fun as an alias of math, it is showing as fun, and I could access the data attribute pi and function tan. Now let me go to a third way of working with names. So we can do selectively things like attribute, data attribute or function. We can directly put into main space as this command from math import pi and tan. You will see the output from the shell that these names pi and tan are getting added into main namespace, and we can directly call the name now pi instead of writing math.py or fun.py. We can directly call them as pi and tan. Once we are done with this, we'll delete pi and tan from our main namespace. Let's look at the output. So here you can check the third example. Starts from here. Before importing pi and tan as the names from math module, it was default values and then got added, and we got the same value of pi and tan. Now come to the fourth way of importing modules. Here, to avoid your you may have your names in your namespace pi or tan. In this example I don't have though, but it is possible that in your available file you may have something of a similar name. So you can use aliasing like we did before for the entire module. You can do aliasing selectively. So next example here, you can see the pi is aliased as pi with e. The function tan is aliased with tangent as it spells out. So we can see that listing. Now we can go back to our shell output. For the fourth example, you can see that the new names pi and tangent are added into the main namespace, and the values are exactly the same as we were getting before. Now there is one more way. Sometimes people are using it. It is to use a wildcard. In this last example, you can see the math module import with asterisk which pollutes, as they say, a namespace. Every namespace that is defined in this module will appear in the main namespace. You can see a long list of all these different names on your Python shell. You can see here acos, acosH, assign, py, dan, whatnot. Particularly if you didn't write this module, it's not a good idea to import with a wildcard. Knowing how those names could actually ends up overwriting your names or certain things which you didn't expect. So you should avoid using wildcard import. You might be exporting in your shell. So now that you have seen different ways of doing this import of modules, their data attributes and their function, let's create a module of our own. So I will go click a new file. We'll take advantage from that py of math module. Now since py is not likely to be defined in our main namespace, the only thing we are going to need in this example, so I'm not going to do alias, we might just say from math import py. We'll use again the input function that was previously discussed to obtain some information from our user. For example, in our case, we will get the radius of our circle by prompting the user. So let's write radius equal input what is the radius of circle, question mark, white space, and then enter. Now the result in radius is going to be string. We need to convert the string into a float value. Let me do a print the area of circle is float is an inbuilt function of Python, which is to convert string to a float value. So radius, which is right now string, converted into float, and operator star star is to do power of 2 and then say pi. So that's going to be your area of circle, which is pi r square. Let me save this file. And I save it as circle demo.py. Let me run the code. It's asking for radius, okay, 5, and the area of the circle is this value. So now that we have learned how to import a module, their attribute, data attribute, their functions, and perform some arithmetic on it.